Hello! I'm Lily. Hey everyone. I'm Lily, and today, or tonight, I'm gonna be just kind of doing a little bit of a D&D ramble. Going through my thoughts. It's kind of definitely a situation of Lily needs to organize her thoughts and think about something, so she's gonna ramble about it and call it a video, because it's one thing to monetize your hobbies. It's another thing to monetize your own internal thought processes. Yeah. But yeah, so to get into what we're talking about, I have to kind of explain a few things. And my current game of D&D, my campaign, Generic RPG Soapocallypse, is kind of entering its last third, so I'd say it has between 6 months to a year left. So it's entering the final sections, and there's some other things that I'm doing. Upcoming soon is actually going to be a DMing basic series about how to end a campaign, which is not an easy thing to do. But that's for a different video. But will be coming to an end. The final climatic fights, soon is coming the big fight against the Dragon King, and then it's the ultimate fight against the evil magic god. Because every generic RPG has to end in a fight against God. Yeah. Yeah, so we've started as a group kind of talking about what we want to do after that. And one thing we decided is that we want to go back to trying playing with 3.5, which is personally my favorite edition. But we also just want to try out some things, and specifically variant, which I'll talk about in a moment. But one thing we also talk about is that 3.5 is very complicated mechanically, and it's a lot of effort on the DM to both manage all the players as well as manage all the DM stuff, especially since 3.5 is not easy or kind to DMs necessarily. Certainly not when you compare it to 5e or 4e. But yeah. So instead, what we're talking about, we haven't settled everything in stone yet, but I am actually not going to be DMing it, which is actually kind of exciting for me. Haven't been a player in a major campaign for a while now. So I'll be the player, and I'll handle everyone else's, make sure they're up to speed on their characters and kind of doing that aspect of thing, while my friend, who's currently a player in the game, will actually handle the actual DMing part of things. So, but this means that I need a character, and part of this video is kind of me just doing some brainstorming on what I want my character to be. So I don't have, there is a book in 3.5, not this one, this is just the ethical handbook. And I can't find my copy, but it's around here somewhere. It's called Deities and Demigods. One thing it does is, it adds stat blocks for deities, information about tips on creating pantheons and role-playing deities and stuff like that. But it also gives you mechanical ways to have characters who are deities. And this campaign is still set in generic RPG, probably after the aftermaths of this campaign. Several gods or powerful beings have died, so you know what, it's time for some new people to join the pantheon and absorb the ambient divine energy, generic god, how gods work, insert here. But instead of it being brave heroes who are fit to become gods, it's going to be this group of 5 friends who just graduated from adventuring school, who all magically happen to be latent gods. So we're gonna be level 1 and 2 suckers who all of a sudden are gods. And so yeah, so there's a bunch of mechanics one things that deities get is that they have these salient divinity abilities, which give them they're really powerful and cool, unique feats and things like that. And they get a bunch of resistances and things like that, but they just become very powerful beings. They'll start as a rank 0, divine rank 0. One cool thing that deities have is that they have kind of more than one level, or they have their actual character level, and the group will have their character level, but they also have their divine rank, which kind of goes over with like their divine ability and things like that. And the divine rank isn't leveled like in a traditional way. You have to like gather more divine energy and become more powerful, but we're not sure how we're gonna handle it, and that won't be my problem. But I didn't think of a character. And kind of like two parts of the character, because it's like on one hand, I need to think out who is this person. Like they're an adventurer within generic RPG, so something like very archetypal is good. But then I also need to figure out what like they're a god of. Like what do they encompass, and like both like also think about their personality and like how does this like affect their personality. Like power corrupts, in what way is this person corrupted, or stuff like that. So yeah, so I thought I'd just kind of ramble about different things I've been thinking about. In terms of like role in the party, 3.5 has the advantage of it being actually quite flexible. Like almost like if you bend over backward enough, you can make any class be able to do any specific thing. And also just being deities, you have a lot more flexibility in terms of access to abilities. Like deities themselves have like a suite of healing and things like that that they have access to on their own. And they don't necessarily need to be otherwise, like have necessarily like a pure healer in the party. But you can get around without having those things. So with that said, it's pretty open, like each person, what they can be and things like that. That said, I do tend to lean towards support, but I'm also trying to force myself to not just make another cleric, because I love clerics. But I also like the idea of like just being like, hello, I am a cleric of me. But yeah, so that's one thing. That was one thing I was thinking about. I was like, I could just be like a generic cleric, who like worships one of the established deities. No spoilers about what deities will still be around by the end. But say like, yes, I am a noble cleric of the sun god. Oh wait, I'm a god now. Well. This is awkward. Well, I'm now a cleric. I can't really be a cleric of you anymore. So cleric of me now. Me, Gwendolyn Brightheart. So as a group, one thing we were thinking about is just like doing like having like all our gods being like just really lame knockoffs of like all the other gods. Like the sun god is yeah, they're the warmth god, or like what do you call it? The dragon god is obviously just the lizard god. I can't even remember all the gods in the campaign. Nature god. I'm not the leaf god. And kind of like having like knockoffs of like the other gods. Instead of the war god, hi, I'm the god of kerfuffles. And things like that. So that's kind of like one of the directions we're gonna take. And but mechanically what I'm thinking is that a few things I'm really leaning towards. One is I really love kind of like the very like heavy built-in like magic item creation. So it's like a lot of my power is like outside of combat, but to combat that, like I improve the group by just like, here I make you lots of stuff, and like making artifacts and things like that. And when it comes to god stuff, like our gods can like take abilities and stuff to start making like artifacts and like super powerful different objects and things like that. So it really kind of will be able to work in that way with kind of like getting better and better, and like, oh no, now I'm churning out artifacts. Oh, whatever shall I do? Most likely that'd be a wizard, but I could also see like wizard multi-class into like a divine spellcasting class, so I can like get a wider range of spells and abilities to put into objects. There's also like an actual like artificer class and like a few other like prestige classes that are all about making stuff. I think it's like the master tinkerer. I believe so. think that's Incomplete Scoundrel, maybe? I don't know. I don't remember all the books. 3.0 and 3.5 has a lot of books. But yeah, so that's one idea. The other idea is going just like very stereotypical, and this is almost more going into almost more like generic like JRPG tropes, is that just being this to have someone who's like just like a very like pure and innocent like idealistic warrior, like kind of like the cleric idea where it's like, yes, I'm just a young cleric of the sun god. I just want to help people and do all that. Oh shoot, I'm the god of slaughter and madness. Hi, it's me, Gwendolyn Brightheart. Fear me, mortals? I guess. I don't know. I don't. Just maybe go torment yourself for eternity. I don't know. Think of it like, an open study hall, but for damnation. Like, here, I give you, I don't know. But that's like another idea where it's kind of like being this like very like conflicted nature thing. Another idea that I had for conflicted nature too was like, not necessarily the opposite the nature, but like, just like totally disinterested or just totally not related to anything that they've ever done before. It's like, yes, I'm a nice dwarven paladin. I fight. I was a warrior. My family came from a proud line of smiths. And now apparently I'm the god of farming? I honestly know nothing about farming. My people didn't farm. We just traded for all our food, and I think you put like a leaf in dirt and then you get beer? Is that right? I don't know. Don't ask me. I mean, people will ask me, but I don't even know. I didn't see the sun. I didn't see the sun until I was 20. Whew. I think that's needed for farming. I don't know. But like just something like that where it's like all these characters will be very much out of their depth, because like they'll just be like fresh adventurers who are just all of a sudden like, yeah, you're like extremely minor gods, but you're still gods, and yeah, no, you're all of a sudden going to be seen as a lot more important than you're ready to be seen as important. So yeah, there's some cool things there. One thing we're also talking about is like kind of like having a more holistic pantheon, and kind of like thinking like making sure like the five of us all like are intertwined and like being very close to each other, because then we could like share a godly realm and things like that, and which would be more convenient plot reasons instead of each of us going in like 5 different directions and doing their own thing. Speaking of number 5, one thing I was also thinking about is possibly doing a god of is just being really dumb, because it is established that it exists in this universe. It is a game that exists within the realm of generic RPG. It's played primarily in Elfhaven, but Magic the Gathering does exist, and it'd be really dumb to be the god of Magic the Gathering within a game of D&D. But I'm not sure. Maybe. Honestly, though, that's like a neat one-off joke, but I don't think it would work as a long-term character. Also, I'd just be stuck making references that no one else in my group would get, because I'm the only player who plays Magic there, so probably not the best idea. But yeah, I don't know what else I was thinking about, but yeah, the whole idea is that the reason that kind of got thinking about it is that, I don't know, I really love, and like a lot of these like ideas and like all these different directions that we go into is that almost all these ideas are very much mechanically supported within 3.5, and I really love that. Like, you've heard me bemoan the lack of customization options in 5e a million times, so hammer it in too much, but I just love kind of like the brewing and the build graft within it, that I really I also like overly planning ahead. That's why I have like the epic level handbook planned out. Yeah, we are starting at level 1. I'm looking at the book that you can't even do anything from until you're level 21. I love D&D so much. But also I'm like starting super early because this campaign won't start at the minimum of like 6 months from now. But yeah, no, it's one thing I really like about D&D is, and one of the reasons why I'm not super intrigued by 5e is I've mentioned this before, I think, but it's like D&D has kind of like two main things you think about. Two ways that you play D&D. One is like the traditional way, what you most think of like when playing D&D. That's when you are in the basement with pizza and your friends and you're role playing and doing all that. But there's a whole another aspect of the game when it's just you and you're like doing like the research and building things like out of session and like planning, like doing research and planning characters that might be in a current campaign or might be in the future or may never be. And 3.5 I find is the edition that helps encourage that more than any of the other editions. 4 did actually a pretty good job of it. AD&D is okay at it. But it's just 5th edition, you just don't get that at all. It's yeah, you can do a little bit of research, but it's just scratching the surface. Well, no, you scratch the surface and there's nothing underneath that surface. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things where it's like, the thing is like, I could spend 6 months just doing research and like figuring out, learning, like doing research, finding different builds. I could do that for 3 months, and then I stumble across like one prestige class that I had looked over, or like a feat that like inspires a build path, and it spirals out into a bunch of other things I can like think about when I was thinking about like the actual character itself. And I really like that about 3.5. And granted, I don't think it's a fair comparison because it's like 3.5 was out and pumping out materials for years longer than 5th edition did. But at the same time, it's like 3.5 books just add so many more possibilities for buildcraft than any of the 5th edition books have so far. But yeah. So, yeah, no, but mechanically though, I think I definitely, like, I probably will end up being support. Like I said, I was gonna try to stray away from support, but then I just listed as my 3 main like mechanical things I'm driven to is cleric, a support wizard, or what was the third one I said? I think I said third one. But a cleric and support wizard. I don't know. It's just like a lot. Like I want to have access to magic because I don't know. Like gods, it's obviously you're magical. Like all gods will get access to magic abilities, but I don't like. I've played a lot of like very martial focused characters, but I know I find them to get dull a little bit. Like you kind of like get a few attacks, but I like having my full toolkit of a spell book and things like that. I definitely want to play it. I think like right now I'm leaning towards wizard, but that might change. And I definitely want to also look into like different prestige classes, because I could definitely see myself like finding like that will influence that, and maybe like wizard cleric, just because I want to have all the spells and all of them. Maybe wizard cleric scion just to be dumb, or I think it's here. I bring out this book, the power source that really no one asked for. It's Magic Arcanum. Essentially, you align like magical abilities to your chakras. I don't even know. I never really fully understood how these worked. What are they? Yeah, because there's like the totemist. Yeah. But then essentially you have like ongoing effects. A cool way to think about it is, like enchantments and magic where you cast these things on yourself at the beginning of the day and things like that, and like it gives you abilities of the day, and it's like a set ability and things like that. Just being like this wizard cleric scion, totemist, just to maximize level of dumb and just have like a 10-page character sheet. That's another like character concept I wanted, because it was the idea of the true like master of all character, where you never take a second level in a class. Every time you level up, you get a new class. You are terrible at everything, but you can do so many things. I really do like that idea. It'd be a lot to keep track of, but it is exceedingly dumb, and I do appreciate that. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Like, I don't know. Please tell me, do you have any ideas? Because I'm not really like. There's a few things I might lean towards too. Like, I really do like the magic item creation, because then I get to spend all day just looking at magic item lists, and messaging the DM asking if I can homebrew some stuff constantly and annoying the hell out of her. But yeah, let me know if you have any like ideas or thoughts like of like good gods things. Like for the artifice one, like I could just do like the god of artifice, but if we're going kind of like the more dumb like generic RPG stuff, I was thinking I could just be, I am the god of stuff, as in physical stuff. It's like gadgets, doodahs, clutter, just bulk. You know what? That's within my domain. I like making stuff. Sure, I could be the god of like craftsmen or artificers or things like that. No, stuff. You want a thing? You pray to me, and I might make it. I don't know, or I might inspire you to know who it is to make it. I don't know. But if you need stuff, just ask me, and I'll send it your way. I'll send you something your way. You'll definitely get some stuff. Oh, that could be super fun too. Like, just being super generic with all the magic items I give to my party members. Like, I'll tell the DM, obviously, but just being like, I made you some boots. So, what do they do? Stuff. Okay, I'm really liking this character idea. It's so dumb. But, I don't know, mechanically I think it's really interesting, because, like, I obviously don't make myself stuff. And just, I don't know, just being like, yeah, I'm just gonna build random stuff and put it together and just give it to my teammates. Like, here, test out this wand for me. Please don't blow up. Although it's hard for you, you're a god. You can take it. Just stiff upper lip. Ignore the pain that it'll give you, because as it draws on your life force. I'm over here taking notes. Wait, that's just Urza. I'm just making Urza at this point. Maybe. Another idea I had was, because, like, while not strictly gods, like, the fae entities in this world, like, there was, like, the 4 seasonal courts, because that's how you generally do the faes. But we do know that the Spring Queen has died, but in the idea of the vein of just, like, a worse version of a dead or steppish version, so it's like, okay, I'm not the Spring Queen, I was just playing, like, an elf or something, or, like, some generic, like, fae creatures, like, yes, I have been promoted. I am the queen of that, like, one time where it's, like, technically spring, but, like, why is it snowing? Yeah, I'm the god of that time. I'm the god of spring snow. Like, I can't do the full, like, winter ice queen aesthetic, because, like, she'll get mad at me, like, the winter queen will get mad at me if I do that. like, I'm not really for the whole, like, spring aesthetic, because, like, that's misleading, because it's like, I still am about snow and things like that. So I'm in this awkward middle ground, kind of like you are when it snows in the middle of the spring, because, like, you've put up your winter coats and things like that. You don't have to deal with this, like, yeah, so, I'm the queen of climate change. That one needs some work. But yeah. Well, I'm sorry for how rambly this one was, but I'm just kind of thinking and like getting some gears turning in my head and start thinking about it, because it's like 6 months away from now. I might do an update video when I actually settle on something and I'm actually like working through details on the character, and I might like go through making the character on screen with on camera with everyone. But yeah. That's also one that, when that campaign goes on, when I'm stripping a player, if people would be interested in doing, like, short update videos every session, because, like, I've thought about doing this for the current campaign, but I don't want to do that, because even at the beginning of sessions when I have, like, players like, hey, can you summarize what happened last session? I don't do it because of the reason, like, I don't want to give away information that, like, I didn't realize that they didn't know, like, stuff I knew that was going on behind the scenes, and, it's kind of fun for them to get things wrong, too. Like, if something's, like, glaringly wrong that their characters would not know wrong, and I may not realize the misconceptions that they may hold just from a perspective point of view, and I don't want to ruin that. But since I'm going to be a player, I can kind of give, like, things, and it'll be, like, heavily slanted from my point of view, obviously, but, gotta give everyone, like, a rundown of, like, what happens every week, and kind of, like, so you can keep up with the story and things like that, so I might do that. I should do it in character and do it like, I should do it in character every time, which means I would need a costume of my character. Do it in character every time and do it just kind of like a vlog of like what's going on. Oh, that could be fun. That could be really fun. Maybe. But yeah, well, that's about it, what I have to say for tonight. And, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a wonderful night yourself. I hope you have more of all your rolls or 20s. Except not, because that really, when all your rolls are 20s, that kind of derails things. May all your rolls, like, average around, like, the 12 to 15 range. That's nice. May all your rolls be above average. On average over time. And may your story smile upon you.